Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, guys?
All right, so I know there's a lot of stuff we've been talking about lately. What do you want to go with first?
So I guess we could kind of compile a lot of this Predator stuff into one section of the cast, I guess. By the way, it's nice to be back, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back, Chris.
Thank you. So this one was kind of weird, and you sent me this one earlier today. I had no idea about this one, but apparently they had to, 20th Century Fox had to edit a scene from The Predator that I guess it featured an actor who apparently they didn't know is actually a legal or a registered sex offender.
Yeah, the story gets better because the situation is, you have to keep in mind that Predator cut how many minutes of footage already? 45 minutes? Or whatever, right?
It's a pretty significant amount.
Right,
yeah.
And then they did reshoots twice. Then they eliminated Edgar James Olmos, right? Eliminated him from... Right, okay. So now,
allegedly,
what happened was Shane Black, because what happened when the story came out, whatever was said in the article was that the director flat out knew, I think it was the company that put out Predator, said the director flat out knew about it and didn't tell us. So it turns out that, and I don't know, Shane Black knew his friend was convicted of these crimes. His friend told Shane Black that he just took a deal or some bullshit. It wasn't really this. He got screwed over. Something happened. He believed his friend and deliberately deceived the company by not saying anything. Now, he knew it was wrong. He knew that if he didn't say anything, they wouldn't know and they could just get the movie in and that's it. And then what the weird part was is he made him do scenes with Olivia Munn.
Yeah.
Which was very weird, sexist. I don't know what the hell it was.
Apparently it involved him hitting her repeatedly.
Okay. And supposedly she found out, maybe it was talk on the set, maybe she heard him talking, that he was a registered. So immediately she contacted the movie company. The movie company flipped out, stepped in. He tried to make light of it like he was just helping out a friend, right? The freaking movie company flipped beyond belief because everybody started tweeting it. It was like all over the place, destroying the reputation of the movie company. So then he starts getting, oh my God, my career is over. I'm gonna lose my job. I'm never gonna be able to do movies with these people again or anybody because now they make it like I. So then he came out and he started throwing his friend under the bus, bashing the shit out of his friend, like his friend deceived him, blah blah blah, and everything. And please, I'm sorry, and all this stuff. But now his reputation with the company may be like destroyed. As well as any other company he's going to go work for. So, because we all know what happened with James Gunn, just tweeting. Now he's basically covering shit up. And that's even worse. So, I don't know how this apology is going, but they have all these stories about the thing, and then they're like, and Predator comes out in like a couple of weeks. It's like the worst kind of promotion for a movie in history.
Yeah.
Because it was projected to do well, and now it may not do well.
Yeah, this is one of the last things that this movie needed. You know, with the questionable marketing and the reshoots and the script that apparently is online that people have read that didn't get a good response to, just some of the weird choices. Now this comes out and it's like, oh well.
Well, it gets better because then he started saying that he put the guy in Iron Man 3. He put the guy in The Nice Guys. All these movies. Now, we don't know if he was convicted when he did those movies. So now I'm sure Disney's effing furious too, as well as other companies. So that's it. The story is just starting, and we're going to be hearing about it for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But, you know, the only thing I can say is that Disney gets the Predator. Isn't it weird how the movie's called Predator and you had a sex offender, right? That's the weirdest shit ever.
I was really trying not to bring it
I
up.
know, that's horrible. But anyway, so now Disney gets Predator and Alien. So now they're going to, I mean, this was the last movie for 20th Century Fox, I guess.
I'm assuming so, yeah.
You know, I think the only thing they keep is The Simpsons, I guess. For whatever weird deal that is. So, Predator, I don't even know if it's good, too. Because I don't know how you could cut it to pieces. I don't know how much more you're going to cut. We don't even know if this guy had a significant part. He said he had a little part. But then why even need him in the movie then? You know? I don't know. So I don't know how the movie's still going to come out, I guess, with all these cuts. But okay. Isn't it out in a week or two? A couple weeks, right?
Yeah, it comes out pretty soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Moral to the story is be honest and don't try to screw over your own company because you're going to get blackballed forever because you just deserve to get blackballed because you're deceiving your company. But whatever. So that's Predator. And again, I don't know what to make of the movie because it just looks like a hodgepodge of shit. I mean,
it really does.
They're cutting it to, I don't know. I don't even know if it's good, man. I don't know.
I've seen the trailers and like not the trailers, the TV spots, and I'm just like, is it like why does it seem so strange? Like there's like
it just looks like a mess. It looks like comedic actors.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I mean, so they're gonna be fighting the Predator. Then the Predator gets his ass kicked by a bigger Predator.
Yeah.
Then he's gonna look at them like goofy, like, oh, let's team up. And then they're gonna have to team up. That doesn't make any effing sense. But whatever. We'll see. What else is going on in the news? And there's a lot of stuff going
on. Honestly, that there hasn't really been any significant Godzilla news lately. So I mean, there's really nothing too crazy to talk about there.
What about Star Wars?
Star Wars wise, next month, I think October 7th, I think, yeah. Star Wars Resistance is going to start. I know they had the trailers for that. I have to admit, I'm not too impressed with the animation.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It looks really, really kind of messy, and I'm not. I got to be honest, I'm not really excited for that at all.
No, I'm not either.
I will tell you though, I'm really excited for that Clone Wars continuation to start because that looks fantastic.
Now, Rian Johnson came out today and said that something in the Clone Wars he really loved, and he's using that for like the movie, some type of variation of that. What was he talking about?
Well, if I also want to address the thing that apparently his trilogy is either on hold and or canceled. I haven't heard anything else about that, and as far as I know, that's not true. Apparently, he's still doing his thing.
Well, not entirely true, right? Because I know right now, I think Disney's stepping in.
I think they are. I think basically what I think they're telling him is you can still do this story, but we want to make sure that you don't go too far off the rails with it.
Yeah. It looks like, because from what I'm seeing all over Twitter and social media, people are starting to hate Episode 9 before it even made.
Yep.
Like, there is shit going on that the stuff that I'm seeing, it's like they're analyzing the shit more of Last Jedi. Like, all the women had the lines. The guys, they're really going deep. And they're trying to say, yes, that's why Han Solo suffered, not because of the other stuff. So it's already almost like a boycott of 9. And then Mark Hamill coming out and saying, I don't know why I'm on the planet either, like, to a fan. That fuels the fire, too. Because it's like, I don't know why I'm there. I don't know why I didn't care about my sister. I don't know. It's like, wow. It's like he's still, it's so weird with his stuff. It's scripting, right?
Yeah.
Like, 1 minute he's like all for the company, and then he's like, nah, they suck, like, type of thing. Not that he actually said that, but it's like, nah, Luke shouldn't be on there. I don't know. So, And then Oscar Isaacs came out, right?
Yeah.
Defending Last Jedi, which made it worse. It's just getting worse.
The unfortunate thing right now is that it's almost like nobody is willing to accept the other side.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate. It's like if you hated The Last Jedi, nobody's willing, and it's not everybody. I shouldn't say it's everybody, but it's like if you hated The Last Jedi, a lot of people are not willing to accept that there's people that like it, and vice versa. If you liked it, it's almost like people are not willing to accept that you hated it.
Right, but then also Lucasfilm came against Disney saying it was their fault that Solo failed because they wanted it moved, and then Disney was annoyed by that.
It's behind the scenes, I think, is getting a little volatile, with basically what's going on. So right. I think what they're probably gonna the biggest thing they're gonna learn from all this is maybe to make sure that everybody's on the same page,
right?
And go from there. As far as Episode 9, I definitely think that there's gonna be a lot of people that either A, don't go see it, or B, just are gonna hate it no matter what.
And this is why maybe they feel Disney stepping in.
Yeah.
Because they're like, right now is not a good time for you, right, John?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to put that on hold too. So they're stepping in more now, Disney, because again, they did spend $4.5 billion for this thing, and they want to get a return on investment, and it's just maybe you need to be open-minded to these people and say, maybe the fans don't want this.
Yeah.
But they're not, and that's the problem. That's the conflict. Also, now Disney's under fire because, I don't know if you heard about this, but they kind of forced the Oscars, like the Academy Awards, right?
Yeah.
To create that popular category.
Film category.
Which would mean they would definitely win. They would definitely win.
Yeah, I heard that didn't go through, though. I heard that
finally, after all this time, they were embarrassed.
Yeah.
And because ABC is Disney and everything, they eliminated it because they were going to look like a laughing stock, and all their integrity was going to be out the window.
Basically.
So they had to. But this is another example of Disney becoming a monopoly and trying to don't you think, just think too big of themselves?
Basically, it's almost like making sure that you win something, at least.
Like you stepped into the movie parlors and you said, we want a higher percentage of Last Jedi, forcing them to keep Last Jedi in there for a while. Now you're trying to muscle the Oscars, the Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just, now it's just, they basically told Lucasfilm, no, we're not delaying Solo. It's coming out here. They're doing their own thing, and it's kind of self-destructive. Like they're kind of hurting themselves.
Yeah.
Because they think they're so big that they don't need to listen to anybody. But then Lucasfilm also at some point too don't think they need to listen to the fans, which a lot of fans are telling you something, you're not ignoring them, and you're bashing it. See, that's another thing is that didn't they learn anything with Ghostbusters when the Ghostbusters started bashing, and the director started bashing the fans? And then it fell apart, right? So wouldn't you learn from that and just say, let's not say anything against the fans?
I mean, it's usually a good idea not to piss them off, but I mean, I don't know why sometimes. I mean, I guess maybe it's just you get to that point where it's just like, listen, I got to say something, but even then, it's like you probably shouldn't,
And now the Into the Spider-Verse is almost dead in the water after that whole fiasco with the director going on a thing. You don't even see it promoted right now. And isn't that coming out soon, June? Right? So yeah. So the moral to the story is, if you're a director, if you're a writer, if you're going to put a movie out, don't bring attention to yourself negative, or don't piss off the fan base. Let your movie come out. You want to say anything, wait till the damn movie's out already on Blu-ray and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But you should be able to guard what you say, though. You shouldn't go after the people that are giving you a paycheck. And I think that's the problem. I think that with Lucasfilm, they think they're untouchable, and they're like, we know what we're doing, and we're experts, and then it's a thing where they can never be wrong mentality. But yes, they are wrong. And now, for the first time ever, we had a Star Wars failure film, unfortunately. I mean, it is a failure right now, unless it does stuff tremendously on Blu-ray or something, but they lost money.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they're blaming Disney. They're not blaming themselves even, which they should blame themselves too. They should take some responsibility, I guess. I don't know. What's going on with The Rock and Black Adam and the DC universe? Like, what the hell is happening?
Well, I know that they're getting ready to do their whole streaming service, which, you know, doesn't really seem that interesting to me. I know that they're going forward with this Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, you know, in his own movie. I don't know too much about what they're doing with The Rock and Black Adam. I guess we're going to get more news around the time Shazam comes out, or like, you know, when they're still promoting that, because it must be connected to that in some way. I wouldn't be surprised if The Rock showed up in like an after credit scene. You know,
right?
Like, you know, maybe we see him, you know, getting his powers or realizing that, you know, Shazam is, you know, out there. But other than that, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Batman. I don't know what's going on.
The big thing is I heard there was a meeting closed doors because we did have to have, I mean, Jennifer Gardner had to step in, and they got Ben Affleck in rehab.
Oh, geez.
And that is a thing that kind of upset Warner Brothers DC, because whatever plans they have for him as Batman is more of a hold than anything else, and now it's a negative thing to their company. So as we speak, and it's unfortunate, but then again, things have happened with Zack Snyder, right? Where with the whole Justice League, and you know, his daughter, I guess, committed suicide, right? His daughter, I think. And there was a whole thing, and yes, it was sad, but they had to get somebody in there to direct, right? So yes, while this is unfortunate with Ben Affleck, the show must go on.
Yep.
And right now they're discussing what to do with the future of the Justice League, him in it, a new Batman. Do they just recast him? Do they wait for him? Is he going to be of the sound mind that they want to do it in the first place? Because he kind of looked resistant. He kind of didn't play well with the cast. He was saying controversial stuff. Then 1 minute he wants to leave, then he wants to get back. It's too flip-flopping. So now I think they're leaning towards just recasting him. Like, I don't think he was set to be in the Batman, but he was set to be like another appearance. Like, I don't know if it was Justice League 2 or whatever, but or even if it was in Man of Steel 2 or something, he would have appeared. But I think he's out. I mean, it's not set yet, but I think they're going to get him out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad. I know, but... And they're divorced, too, by the way. The whole thing went through while he's in rehab. The whole paperwork and everything. It's done. He's divorced. But she still stepped in and helped him, which was nice of her. So, what's going on with Transformers?
I haven't heard anything, but... Oh, no, that's not true. I actually did hear one thing. I heard that apparently if Bumblebee does well, the next thing we might see is a movie about Optimus Prime.
Yes,
but
I heard that too.
I'm kind of confused about that, because it's like I thought they were eventually going to do something to reboot it. I don't think they are. I actually think that they've decided against that. And I think maybe what they're going to do is make these movies until the popularity of it gets better, and then they're going to make 7.
See, I think that they don't know what to do with the next movie. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So they figure, let's throw these movies out there, build the popularity, and then let's really sit in a damn writer's room and fix this shit.
Yeah.
Because it's fucked up right now. So I don't mean to curse, but also, G.I. Joe is not being rebooted.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock is returning. 2020, I guess. They're waiting for him because he's doing Jumanji 2. He's doing, I mean, sequels to his movies too. I mean, he's busy. Mm-hmm. You know, and then we got the Marvel situation. Oh, what was the other thing I wanted to say too? Mattel wants to have their own universe, but not in the movies, but on Netflix. Like their properties, but like a Netflix shows or something. So that's crazy. There's that going on. There's also conflict with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Avengers 4 and beyond. Now, the biggest concern that I have right now is Avengers 4, right? Because supposedly we heard stuff that because of the Guardians sticking up for James Gunn, they want to change the movie to do where maybe the Guardians just stay dead or something where they want to take James Gunn stuff out of there. How much James Gunn stuff does he have in Avengers 4? Because now, from what I understand, the Russos don't want to change anything. But it's a very strange thing right now.
Yeah, I don't know how much stuff. I don't know what James Gunn had in Avengers 4, but I'm assuming it's probably pretty significant because of how integral to the plot Gamora was in Infinity War.
But wouldn't they F up the movie?
Yes.
So why don't they leave it alone?
Well, exactly. They should leave it alone, but they're not going to because they think they have to erase him from everything that they're going to do.
So this could be the downfall now of Disney with the superhero stuff. They could start pissing off the fan base totally.
I wouldn't say for the whole MCU, but I definitely think it could be a negative factor going into Avengers 4.
If they wreck Avengers 4,
that's a problem.
That's the biggest thing ever. And all these other little movies, yes, but you wreck Avengers 4, you're going to have a Star Wars negative effect with the superhero movies.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And I'm not talking, this is not social justice warrior, this is not a women thing, this is their ego going on with James Gunn. The people are going to have a bad taste in their mouth every single time they see an MCU movie because of if they screw up Avengers 4.
Yeah.
Because they're going to feel that Disney is not for the fans, they're for their ego. And then that's going to make them think twice if they go to see their movie. Telling you right now, they need to leave it alone. Just pay him. If you have to give him an extra $15 million, okay, because that's what I'm hearing, right? So in other words, rather than give him $15 million, they want to spend $10 million, right? To change, which is maybe even more than that. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Let him go. Let him go. One more time, let him go. You can't hold on to him. You either make a decision. And you by the way, I want to say another thing too. All this dragged out stuff, they're bashing it. Because to make whole stories about they had a meeting with James Gunn and they said no, that's like bashing him. Like their mind was made up before the meeting took place, so why even have the meeting? So they need to just make a decision. You let him go or you get him back, but end this story. Totally. Don't you agree?
I do, yeah. I think they should leave it alone because, the minute you start changing things, if it's significant things, then the movie starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
Now that's not always true. Sometimes things get changed and they help the movie. But I gotta say, I think he was one of the executive producers on the movie, and it's if his stuff is going to be integral to what Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was going to be, and might still be eventually if they make it, how are you gonna make that work with the movie if the Russos and him were already this is how it's gonna lead into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and other things. It sounds like a really bad idea to me. Just being right. It's almost as bad as if it's really as drastic as maybe taking those characters out of the movie. It would almost be like, oh yeah, we're also going to take Spider-Man out of the movie because Sony got pissed off.
Right.
It's like it'd be crazy. You'd be like, what the hell's going on?
But, see, now Marvel's already doing damage control in Marvel Comics, and they're already doing stuff with the Guardians. As you know, the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy comic, they made as Guardians of the Galaxy. Now the plan is they're going to reboot the Guardians of the Galaxy comic with a new team. It could be a mixture of people from the 31st century. Probably it's going to be Silver Surfer. So you know what's going to happen is like they'll probably introduce Silver Surfer as a new member of the Guardians of the Galaxy after they get the rights to Silver Surfer, you know, in 2020, right? So you'll have a whole rebooted team, and that's how they'll probably introduce Guardians of the Galaxy with Silver Surfer, because Galactus is going to come, you know, and they'll probably do something like that. I really am not crazy about Silver Surfer being in the Guardians of the Galaxy because he's really good enough to be by himself. And the team that he was with was the Defenders. But because they did that stuff with Luke Cage and all that, they kind of want to stay away from that. But they can technically do a Defenders movie with Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, the Hulk, and Namor, if they get the rights to Namor. I don't know who the hell has the rights to Namor. But I think they should just, honestly, if they really want to cut ties with James Gunn, how about do a mutual, what's the word, compromise? Let him do 3, leave his stuff in Avengers, and goodbye. Is that fair? I would think it'd be fair. Let him do 3. Let him finish 3. You know. Pretty much it, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that they should let him keep the stuff in Avengers 4. And then it would have made sense to me to let him do Volume 3 to kind of, you know, end his run on the story. And then if there was going to be a Volume 4, that's when you introduce somebody new to direct it. And then maybe they can start doing their own stories with the Guardians of the Galaxy. But,
yeah.
I mean, I understand why Disney did what they did. I don't know if it was the best course of action. And it's, you know.
Yeah. I don't think it was the best course because now we have other people that keep adding to the story. We have, I think, movie companies are throwing their 2 cents in, which is like their peers, you know, like Disney's colleagues, you know, work colleagues. I mean, they don't, you know, competition. So now it's starting to get ugly, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, of course, another crazy topic is Doctor Who is moving to Sundays.
Oh, is that confirmed now?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and it's not only moving to Sundays, but it's on when we have football.
Yeah, this is the worst time of year in America to do this. It really is.
If it comes out at 5:30, I guess it will be 12:30 in the afternoon for us.
Are you kidding me?
Which football? You have on a Sunday the pre-show at 12:30, right? I think it still happens like that, right? And then 1 o'clock.
Doctor Who would be on in the afternoon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, BBC America would probably have it at night at 9, but
I hope so.
9 o'clock is Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And Supergirl is 8 o'clock, right? Or 9 o'clock. Supergirl's going to start too.
Yeah.
And don't forget to have that crossover thing. So people are going to be glued to Supergirl, you know, seeing if they have shades of Superman appearing, Batwoman. I mean, this is supposedly Batwoman's in Supergirl's universe. So there would be, you know, another series, but set in Supergirl's universe. You know? So, and it's not just Walking Dead, it's not just Supergirl, but there's other shows that are going to start coming on Sundays too. So I really think that this is a bad idea.
Well, they must have done some kind of look at it and said, hey, let's move it here for some reason. I can't.
Well,
understand.
From what I understand, the competition is so enormous that they would get destroyed on Saturday nights because they got X Factor, they got all this stuff, but so they feel that in order to save the show, it will never survive in the ratings. So you move it to a lesser time, but even then, it's going to be like a class situation where you're never going to see it. I mean, I don't, but again, it can't get canceled because according to the thing is, even if it had the worst ratings in history ever, it's commissioned. So it's a contract. It's a signed, sealed, deliver. So they would have to continually do it up until 20, I'm not sure, 2020 something. I think 2022 or something or whatever it is. So they already have plans to start filming soon for Series 12 because they said they had all the scripts written and they're just going to film in November. Supposedly, that's a rumor too. That they're going to do that and then they're going to try to get it out earlier next year. Like they got 2 series basically written already so far. So. I mean, we'll be covering that extensively. October 7th is when it appears. Again, we're going to do it throughout the week, you know that. But I don't think anybody's really going to be able to see it that early because I work on Sundays and a lot of people either church or football or whatever. So it's going to be a thing that's going to have to wait till later on, I guess. Yeah. So I think that they're going to go back to Saturdays eventually. I think that's going to change. And then probably I think Moffat Show is going to be on Sunday nights too. The Time Traveler's Wife on HBO.
Oh, okay.
And Watchmen are going to be on HBO. I don't know when that's coming on. That's going to be a series as well, which, they're all trying to have all these new shows to replace Game of Thrones, popularity-wise. So they're throwing everything out there, and then if they create 10 new shows, hopefully one of them or 2 of them will be on equal par, or close to it. So I think that's it, right? Anything else or no?
That's all I had, yeah.
All right. Godzilla now, I mean, are they filming Kong now or no?
Next month, yet? I think next month they start filming Godzilla versus Kong. And
wow.
Actually, now that you said that, the only thing that there's only 2 things that I really know about that have been like an update was that apparently they are going to Skull Island in Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh.
For whatever. I mean, that kind of goes without saying, but the fact that it's like pretty much confirmed now based on the filming locations that we've heard. Does that mean that Godzilla is going to show up on Skull Island? I don't know. I certainly hope he does.
Right.
But I've actually been thinking about this a little bit more, and I think I have an idea of where they're going with this.
Okay.
But we have to wait and see. I don't want to say anything just yet because I don't want to
All right. Fair.
But the other thing was, I know a lot of people have been keeping their eye on that Monarch Sciences website because you can track Godzilla on the site and see like where he's going and whatnot. And I know a couple of days ago, he got really, really, really close to where Ghidorah is, and everybody flipped out. So
right.
It's kind of interesting. It's a fun little thing that they're doing, but I don't think it should amount to too much. But who knows?
Now, your opinion of the future of legendary and monster movies, like Godzilla movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your percentage that you feel after Godzilla vs. Kong, there's definitely be more?
So, if you would have asked me this like a week or 2 ago, my opinion wouldn't have changed from what it was, which was I think that after Godzilla vs. Kong, we're done.
Like percentage-wise of meaning, say, 100. Like if you go higher, it's a better chance of a whole bunch of movies, or 1 movie or 2 movies after Kong, or the lowest thing is like a doubt.
Based on the news that we got recently, that apparently Legendary and Warner Brothers have come back together. I'm going to go that there's probably like a 65% chance that there's going to be something after Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay.
Especially if what I read about Godzilla King of the Monsters is true.
Right.
Because I've read some stuff that apparently happens in the film that, if so, we could be seeing some crazy stuff in the future. But what we have to keep in mind is Toho, from what I know, is gearing up for their World of Godzilla.
Yes.
Which, for those of you who don't know, Toho has come out and said that their plans for Godzilla in the future are to do a shared universe similar to what Marvel does with Godzilla, Mothra, Ghidorah, and a whole bunch of other monsters.
Right.
And that we believe is going to happen shortly after Godzilla vs. Kong comes in. They've said this already. They said, literally, we're going to do something like Marvel. And the example they gave was, so imagine how Iron Man could show up in a Hulk movie or something. That's what we're doing with Godzilla next.
Right.
So whatever form that takes, that is apparently what Toho's doing next. So
now the release date for Godzilla vs. Kong is basically the same, right?
I think it's May 29th, 2020.
Right, like I predicted so many years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And again, for those of you who don't know about that, there was a video that we did, how many years? Was that like 3 years ago?
I think we did it. I lived at the other place, right?
Yeah. Well, in the video, he basically said, I think we're going to see King Kong versus Godzilla in 2020.
Right. And you saw that.
Yeah. And then
I don't even know if we didn't even do cast then.
I don't even know.
I was doing single videos.
Yeah. And then like a year or two later, Legendary was like, oh yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong 2020.
Well, we were doing cast then, and we were talking about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. That's great.
I know. I love that. I love when I love that to this day. I was like, you know. But I heard recently that there's going to be a 2.5-year break so that way Toho could do their stuff.
I think that's probably what's going to happen.
But I heard that right now the plans are being drawn up for.
I think they already exist because they had that writer's room, and I can't think that writer's room was just to plan Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah.
I have to think that they at least mentioned, because we know that somewhere along the lines they brought up the idea of Godzilla and Pacific Rim crossing over. They're not going to do that now.
I know.
But they brought that up. So to me, that means if that story was true, they've talked about a whole bunch of stuff, like what they could do. And I have to think that if Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong both do really well, I don't think Toho is going to be like, yeah, we don't want to make any more money. Like
if they could get the rights and they could do a Gamera movie.
Yes.
In 2023.
Yes.
And then you do Godzilla versus Gamera. Holy shit. By like 2024, 2025, whatever, that would be unbelievable. And also, it would be where they wouldn't touch the other monsters because Toho is doing them.
Mm-hmm.
But having something fresh like Gamera, you could experiment, and you could have things in it where you don't have to touch upon all the other monsters that they're basically doing again.
Yep.
Please get Gamera. Please. But even a Mecha Godzilla too, like in another movie. If it wasn't Gamera, like Mecha Godzilla, that would be. If they tried to like have the mother of all Mecha Godzilla movies versus Godzilla like in the 70s that time,
mm-hmm.
and like they go with what Spielberg's design or something, right?
Something similar to that because
my god!
Yeah.
Or if they just did an all-out, like everybody, right?
I think they need to. There's a specific monster that I think they need to eventually introduce into the MonsterVerse, and
Destroyer?
Yes, I think we've got our first tease of him when they sent out that picture of the Oxygen Destroyer.
Yeah. Okay, so he's coming.
I'm assuming he's coming. I would actually venture to. I would not be surprised if he showed up in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know that it's a long shot, but I'm still not convinced that this movie is not going to have at least something that Godzilla and Kong have to fight. And I'm pretty certain it's either A, going to be a new monster, which I think is a long shot,
right.
or B, it's going to be Destroyer. Because after Ghidorah, who do you do?
Right.
What would you do? Not saying that Destroyer is better than Ghidorah, but
right.
I mean, let's be honest.
I love Destroyer. That was great.
In the Heisei series, Destroyer was stronger than Ghidorah.
Yeah, he was. That was amazing. That was amazing. I'm all excited about them. Was it still called the Monsterverse? What's it called?
Yeah, Monsterverse. Yep.
Monsterverse, yeah. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye for now.